Alright guys, we're on live. We're on live, so let's get the station going. And here we go. WNKY News 40, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
He's told police a man put tools into a large tote bag, then used self-checkout, paying only for the tote. And merchandise from Lowe's, Cabela's, and Walmart. 27-year-old Logan M.J. Otter was arrested. He's being held at the Warren County Regional Jail on multiple charges. In other local news, Governor Andy Beshear joined business and education leaders in Bowling Green today to push Kentucky's General Assembly to pass an expansion of pre-K for all. The program helps prepare children for kindergarten, but it also allows for parents to get back into the workforce sooner. At the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce, both the governor and the superintendent of Warren County Schools said pre-K was essential for student and economic development.
What's up, quarter pounder?
When kids walk into kindergarten right now, half aren't ready. Half of Kentucky's kids are failing before they even start. So I think we as a Commonwealth have an obligation to do better. And the answer is one that's been embraced by a ton of other states. It's pre-K. It's making sure that every early learner gets that good start.
Which means
is to level the playing field for all.
Which means we'll probably
and getting our students into our schools in preschool not only better prepares them for the future, but it also is the best use of our available resources when educating our students.
Governor Beshear said that
pre-K for all can be paid for from the revenues. We're going to do another TV station, then I'm going to have to stop filming weather for a while because I'm going to have to watch
their state senator and representative to encourage
I'll be
them
watching
to pass
basketball
pre-K
at
for all
6
during
o'clock.
this current session
UConn Huskies versus
in more local news, U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell
UConn Huskies men's basketball team versus Xavier.
Million
That's the one I'm going to be watching
Kentucky
later.
airports, highways, and economic development projects.
It's going to be on Peacock and NBC Sports Network.
And now it's headed to President Trump for his signature. $20 million is slated for a new Cave City Area Agriculture Exposition Center in Barron County. The project will create a regional agriculture center designed to host events and boost local economic development. For a full breakdown of where the rest of the money is going, visit WNKY.com. In more state news, Congressman Brett Guthrie secured federal funding following the passage of H.R. 7178. The bill includes more than $76 million for 13 community projects across Kentucky's 2nd District, all requested by Guthrie. $14 million will go to Edmonson County's Water District Treatment Plant to improve reliable access to the Green River. $2 million is headed to the Green River Valley Water District in Hart County to boost water supply. More than $650,000 will fund Auburn's cast iron water line replacement. And over $470,000 will support technology upgrades for the Barron County Sheriff's Office, including body and cruiser cameras. For a full breakdown of the projects, visit WNKY.com. In other local news, although winter weather is here, the spring semester at WKU is now in full swing. WKU President Timothy Caboni held a press conference Tuesday to welcome the new semester and highlight recent accomplishments. He discussed House Bill 4 and how it could impact some campus organizations, the importance of providing students with real-world work experience, and the university's record-breaking graduating class.
And what matters to me is not the number of freshmen we recruit. It's the number of students we graduate. The decisions we make today have repercussions for generations of students.
As WKU continues to evolve, President Caboni plans to share the success of the institution. In more local news, for some local families, the recent winter storm may have delayed more than travel, may have also slowed mail delivery. On Tuesday, a U.S. Postal Service spokesperson shared a statement saying delivery will only happen when roads are passable and safe. They say carriers are making every effort to deliver as much mail as possible. The Postal Service also asks residents to clear a path to their mailboxes to help keep delivery on schedule. For more details, visit WNKY.com. Now still to come on News 40 at 5. In today's Health Minute, Scott Burchett explains why doctors say many patients may not know about their cholesterol options. But first, Scott, how's the rest of our evening looking?
We're going to flip back to winter for at least a day, day and a half. Today's high, not too much below average. 45, the morning low 24. Officially nothing in the rain bucket. The National Weather Service office, that's probably delayed just a little bit. We'll see that updated tonight. Download that News 40 weather app, though, because we got dense fog. We can see some snow tonight. We'll break it all down after the break.
Let's go look at Fox weather real quick and see what they say. On my Roku TV.
This is where we have to consider the fact that we could have some really low wind chills that take shape across the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic and up into even New England. This actually may be the coldest wind chills that we've seen so far this season. So we thought the last couple of blasts of Arctic air was bad. I think this one will definitely take the cake. Look at New York City, for example. Our wind chills by the time we get into the weekend are sub-zero. Sunday's going to be the coldest day with that wind pulling out of the north. And then even into Monday, it's going to feel like single digits out there going into the next week. Saturday, it all gets started. There's that push of Arctic air, that north wind that comes through following as well into Sunday. And so a lot of areas will feel a lot more colder, and also the air temperature will be equally as cold. The winds, they are going to peak. We could see winds up to 30, 40, if not 50 miles per hour. So that does make a lot of areas like Philly, New York, Hartford, feel 18 degrees below zero. That's along the I-95 corridor alone. You take it inland where you're on the onset of some of this colder air. Look at Buffalo, 10 below zero, Watertown, 22 below zero as the wind chill, as that feel-like temperature. So this is where we're going to have to limit the amount of time we spend outdoors. Notice that as we get into Sunday, the highs aren't that much different. We are topping out at 20 degrees on Sunday in New York City, 28 in D.C. Everyone almost across the board, with the exception of Charleston, is going to be below the freezing mark. So we have another bitter cold day ahead of us. Monday, is going to be another similar day where we're topping out in the 20s, if not low 30s. And of course, when we tackle on that wind, it will feel significantly colder in some of these areas. So just watch for that over the next couple of days. That's going to be another big part of our story, how winter really isn't loosening its grip. Burlington, Vermont. We thought New York's temperatures were bad in terms of wind chills. Notice that as we get into the weekend, with 21 below zero on Sunday, 14 below zero on Monday. And it's been so cold in Florida that the water fountains at Disney World are starting to freeze. Orlando's morning low on Sunday was 24 degrees. That cold, it isn't just impacting people, but also the marine life is endangered too. This is over at Treasure Island Beach Patrol. They spotted a cold-stunned sea turtle during one of the routine checks. The turtle washed up during the high tide and was too weak to even move. Luckily, it was rescued and sent off to a warm water rehab, where it's now doing much better and getting all of the proper care. Now, temperatures are slowly picking back up across the Sunshine State. Coming up, we're going to time out for you how things are looking.
Nice and easy, okay? Go ahead and hop on in. Directly in the middle. All the way in. Ready to haul?
Firefighters in Charlotte raced against the clock of time to pull a man from a submerged truck in the middle of a powerful nor'easter. Coming up, we'll hear from one of those heroes that was a part of this very crucial rescue. More Fox weather right after this.
It feels really good to be single for once.
Let's go to WNKY 40. Activate Scene TV app. There it is.
in the upper 30s, low 40s, and that's going to be the situation over the next several hours. Look at the satellite radar. Here goes that front. We are going to see some cooler temperatures come in. Looks like we are trying to change over to some snow back towards places like Hopkinsville, and then you can see that pinkish purple, that lilac color near Louisville. That is some freezing rain, and then we also have that heavy snow, that dark blue, moving into Louisville. Possibility that some of the rain could change over to maybe some sleet or freezing rain tonight as it exits, and also you can see that by early tomorrow morning produces a few snow showers. So be on the lookout for some slick spots tomorrow, especially as you work your way east towards places like Metcalfe County and to the north. Another system tries to make its way in here on Friday. Looks like the precipitation stays north, but it will cool those temperatures down, not before seeing some nice warm temperatures on Friday. A slightly cooler weekend, still trending warmer though than what we've been seeing. So for snow melting purposes, it's looking good. Also, if you have the cleanup or repairs around the house after that ice hit, and then as we go into the weekend, high pressure builds in, and we're looking at a possible warm week next week with maybe a system making its way in. I wanted to show you future road temperatures tonight. We're going to see those road temperatures. This is pavement. I talk about the possibility of refreezing every night. Look at that. Glasgow, Edmonton pavement temperatures go down to the freezing mark. Woodbury 32, Bowling Green just above freezing, and then this is after the 4:30 time slot. We start to see those temperatures dip even more until the sun comes out tomorrow and we start to clear things out and that snow moves out of the way. So be careful for slick spots tomorrow. 28 tonight.
The third person's me because I'm trying to make sure my audio's working.
Likelihood as far as tomorrow's concerned, high only 31. Snow showers in the morning, afternoon clearing. 7-day forecast. 50 on Friday. We go back down to 40s for Super Bowl weekend, and then well, look at that. We rebound to 56 on Tuesday. That's look at your 7-day forecast. Be sure to join us for the Super Bowl on Sunday. We can see the Patriots beat the Seahawks here on NBC 40.
See, we'll be right back in a moment. Always commercials. Never fails.
Down the mountain, we had some more groceries and stuff, and send us good luck and good fortune. We're going to be okay.
Immediately when we woke up Sunday, we started boiling snow. It became that, that strenuous in nature.
Gatlinburg local Chris Dreisbach is doing his best to help visitors like Lamry.
So I saw a bunch of people getting out on Facebook saying that
no, not that one. We get Louisville and Bowling Green stations and Nashville stations. We also get Evansville and Lexington, but I don't watch Evansville and Lexington. Every now and then we can get Cincinnati.
Well, controlling your cholesterol levels plays an important part in heart health. If diet and exercise aren't enough to help lower levels, medication can help. In today's Health Minute, Scott Burchett explains why doctors say many patients may not know about their cholesterol options.
In the U.S., nearly 25 million adults aged 20 or over have total cholesterol levels that are considered high, and about 86 million in that age group have levels classified as borderline high. But since it doesn't often come with symptoms, you can only know your numbers by getting tested.
It's very common that patients don't know their cholesterol levels.
Dr. Lakshmi Mehta with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says it's critical to know your cholesterol level in order to manage it and lower risk of cardiovascular disease while adopting a heart-healthy diet, low in saturated fats, exercising, losing weight, and quitting smoking can all help. Sometimes it's not enough and medication is needed. However, slightly more than half of U.S. adults who could benefit from cholesterol medicine are actually taking it.
High levels of the cholesterol, especially the LDL cholesterol, is associated with developing plaque or blockages in your heart arteries or in your neck arteries, which can result in strokes.
Mehta says that while most patients know that statin medications are the cornerstone treatment to lower cholesterol, not everyone can take them. And she says many don't know there are other options in both pill and injectable forms for those who are statin intolerant or need an extra line of defense.
It's not just lowering the LDL number that's important. It goes beyond that. It's also that medications can stabilize plaque and slow the progression.
Because local health matters, for Health Minute, I'm Scott Birch at WNKY News 40.
Thank you, Scott. In more health news, a new study shows men's risk for heart disease begins to rise years earlier than women, starting in their mid-30s. Researchers followed more than 5,000 people from young adulthood. While men and women have similar risks through their 20s, a gap emerges by age 35. By age 50, 5% of men had developed cardiovascular disease, nearly 7 years before women reached that same risk. The difference is even more pronounced for coronary heart disease. Experts urge both men and women to start monitoring their heart health early, including regular checks of blood pressure and cholesterol. Well, flu activity has ticked back up slightly in the U.S. thanks to a very small increase in infections caused by influenza B. Ivan Rodriguez has more.
If you thought flu season was over, think again.
We're actually seeing activity come back.
Dr. Caitlin Rivers with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says the country is seeing an increase in cases of flu B, primarily among children aged 5 through 17.
What we often see is that kids are the first to be affected by new trends, and then older age groups really start to see the effects. Flu B often becomes more common in the spring, so there's some of that going on, but I don't think it really explains the full rebound.
Rivers, who also writes about infectious disease trends in her Force of Infection Substack, says this pattern is similar to what the U.S. saw last year, when flu climbed to a second peak in late February after initially falling. The recent winter storm across the country might also play a role.
I am hopeful, but not certain, that the severe winter weather that a lot of the country experienced over the last week will interrupt that expansion into other age groups, but we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Influenza B strains are a whole different family of viruses. Even if you've had the flu once this season, it's possible to get it again if you catch a different strain. The good news is this year's flu vaccine protects against 2 A strains and 1 B strain. So the shots should offer some protection against severe illness and hospitalization.
A majority of the deaths that we see from influenza are in older adults. So extra important if you are, say, over the age of 65, that you get your flu vaccine and that you're careful during flu season to protect yourself.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
You guys hold on a minute.
Turning to consumer news, Americans are paying more to power their homes, and it's because of rising energy costs. Jen Sullivan looks at why you may be seeing higher bills and what you can do to help cut costs.
This morning, Americans still digging out, following brutal back-to-back winter storms and a round of bitter cold. This weekend's historic snowfall burying some parts of North Carolina in more than a foot of snow. 4 homes off the Carolina coast collapsing into the ocean, while hundreds of plows are still working to clear roads and abandoned cars.
We don't have the plows. We don't have the salt. It's just not there.
There's also mounting frustration in Nashville, where thousands are not expected to get power back until this weekend.
We know how difficult and exhausting that has been.
It comes as frigid temperatures continue to envelop the country. Some business owners forced to close up shop.
This is the first time we've been closed down for 3 days straight.
While farmers are desperately trying to protect their crops. Meanwhile, officials warning drivers to slow down.
They didn't answer. I'm gonna have to leave a voice.
With Nebraska troopers releasing video of this close call.
So let me mute. So let me mute the mic. Let me mute the mic so I can send a voicemail to them real quick.
Delayed or canceled on Monday.
Didn't even do that. Alright, I'm back, guys. Okay. Watching the news like I always am. A little bit. I'm gonna have to.
Well, Representative James Comer spoke briefly this morning at the U.S. Capitol. Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, says the panel had subpoenaed the Clintons last year. The Clintons previously called the subpoenas legally invalid and did not appear. Late Monday, they agreed to testify ahead of expected votes to hold them in contempt of Congress. Comer says the committee will ask the Clintons about how Jeffrey Epstein accumulated his wealth and whether they had any knowledge of sex trafficking operations.
Well, obviously, we're going to ask questions I think 99% of all Americans want to know, their relationship, the knowledge. We're trying to figure out how, number one, Jeffrey Epstein accumulated so much wealth, and number two, if they had any knowledge about the sex trafficking operations or anything like that.
In more national news, the House passed a funding package to end the partial government shutdown Tuesday, sending the bill to President Trump's desk. Erica Brown has more.
Without objection, the motion is adopted.
By a vote of 217 to 214, the House narrowly passed a funding bill to end the partial government shutdown Tuesday.
I'm happy to report Republicans got the job done. Our majority worked together, and we got the bills over the line.
The legislation includes 5 full-year spending bills and only a temporary funding extension for the Department of Homeland Security, as Democrats demand reforms to immigration enforcement policies following federal agents fatally shooting 2 Minneapolis residents.
Body cameras must be required by law. Masks must come off. Judicial warrants are a requirement, not a suggestion.
President Trump is expected to sign the bill soon. Now that the measure has passed, Democrats will have less than 2 weeks to reach a deal with Republicans about reforming ICE before funding for Homeland Security runs out.
Crispy Gnome must go.
Ahead of the vote, 22 House Democrats protested outside ICE headquarters, calling for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to step down and ICE be dismantled.
The presence of ICE in our communities is not about public safety. This is about stoking fear, silencing peaceful dissent.
On Monday, Noem announced that the department is deploying body cameras to every officer in the field in Minneapolis. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now stick around, because Scott will have one last look at your forecast when we come back.
My Valentine's, my husband, my girlfriends, and Kohl's. Not another one. Kohl's has gifts for every Valentine, from sweet gestures to cute favorites and more. Find gifts they'll love at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Sometimes I lose myself in the thrill of the deep. Goosebumps. Feel the rush of Kohl's Ultimate Clearance Event. Save up to 70% while you still can on must-have store-wide at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Sometimes I lose myself in the thrill of the deal. Goosebumps. Feel the rush of Kohl's Ultimate Clearance Event. Save up to 70% while you still can on must-have store-wide at Kohl's and Kohl's.com.
Only 3 days away from the 2026 Winter Olympics that you can watch right here on WNKY NBC 40. Now, many of you might not know this, but Scott spent the past weekend trying to qualify for Team USA's ski jumping team. And so the only way you can find out if he made it is by tuning in February 6th right here on NBC 40.
The fact that I didn't go over to the Walls with maps on crutches, that's a pretty good sign. I was not doing that.
I think that's the one that you made.
You think that'll be it?
I'll be on the lookout for you for that one.
Well, let's see if it's good weather for skiing.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the map for Italy. Look at that. We've got a lot of 30s there. As a matter of fact, it's 14 in the mountains, and we'll take a look at the future snowfall over there as we go in through the next several days. This should take us up to the opening ceremonies on Friday. Yeah, looking like they can get a few more inches of snow. 13 inches in Cortina by then.
Wow.
Bormio, about 4 inches of snow. That's where some of the skiing is going to be going on. For us, though, well, we're looking at the potential for some wintry precipitation. I'll be on the lookout for some slick spots tomorrow. Don't think we're going to see any accumulation, but once the pavement freezes for the night, it can make those a little bit slick.
All right, well, that's going to do it for News 40 at 5. Join us back here.
But we will see the rain try to change over to a little bit of snow.
Okay,
in the overnight hours.
it's rerunning.
Shouldn't see any accumulation. May cause a couple of slick spots as those temperatures drop below